Tri-County Beverage Inclement Weather Driver's Training Presentation. Inclement weather includes ice, snow, rain, fog, wind, any other natural hazard or factor. Inclement weather. Be aware of weather forecasts. Vehicle pre-inspection. Don't speed. You must always remain cautious when driving in bad weather to prevent a wreck. Slow down. Rainy roads mean slippery roads. Reducing your speed by 1/3 when roads get wet to avoid accidents is suggested. If weather is too harsh, don't drive. Whether it's because of a harsh blizzard, strong winds, or other inclement weather, try to find a safe place to park. If none are available or driving is unsafe, pull over on the side of the road and remain inside your vehicle. Watch for black ice. Some signs to look for are ice buildup on mirror arms, antennas, or the top corners of your windshield. Inclement weather. Use extra care on inclines. Add extra space on the road. If you're driving in the middle of a storm, make sure there is enough room between you and other vehicles in case you have an emergency and need to pull over. Keep your lights clean. Ice and snow can cover your lights, ruining your visibility. Every time you stop, clear off your lights so you can see while driving. Turn your lights on. Many states require lights to be on while raining, and for a good reason. Illuminating your path with your lights help maintain your visibility even in rain. Heavy snow. Heavy snows and ice can bring down power lines, tree limbs, entire trees, and even buildings. Be aware of these obstacles, especially if you get off the main roads onto access drives and sidewalks. Vehicle inspection. Inspect your vehicle to make sure that it is fit for winter weather driving. Check the tire pressure and tread. Fill the gas tank. Check the windshield washer fluid. Windshield snow or ice. Ensure all snow and ice are removed from the windshield, windows, and side view mirrors before driving. Remove snow and ice from the head and tail lights before driving. Accelerating. Accelerating on snow and ice can be difficult, especially if you are sitting on an incline. Accelerate slowly, giving the tires a chance to grab traction. Keep your wheels pointed forward until you start to move before attempting to turn. Turning your wheels before you are moving will cause the wheels to spin. Steep roads. Sometimes a certain road will take you straight up a steep hill when a better option may be to take a longer way around using a less steep route. Avoid stopping on a hill in the snow and ice. If you see a vehicle stopped ahead of you, slow down and give them time to clear before you get to the intersection. Intersections. Make sure other vehicles come to a complete stop before you enter the intersection, even if you have the right of way. Getting stuck. If you become stuck, make sure there are no vehicles coming before you try to exit your vehicle. Turn on your four-way flashers before you exit. If you're calling someone to come pull you out, stand clear of the vehicle and other traffic. Getting stuck continued. If you are going to dig yourself out, try to identify which tires do not have traction. Dig under and around the tire. Look up often to see if there are any other vehicles coming. If you have any sand or salt, put it under the tire for traction. You may have to repeat this process several times to free yourself. Pedestrians in the streets. Often excessive snows will force pedestrians to walk in the streets. Sidewalks can be covered with plowed snow. Fog. Dense fog can severely limit your ability to see when driving. Use your fog lights if your vehicle is equipped with them. Do not use your bright lights as it will limit your visibility and the visibility of those driving towards you. High water. Do not attempt to cross running water that is more than a couple inches deep. Do not drive through water if you are unsure the depth or cannot see the road. Do not cross bridges that have water flowing over them. Wind. High winds can turn over a vehicle or force you out of your travel lane. High winds affect vehicles such as box trucks, work vans, or other high-profile vehicles more than a normal car or pickup. Slow down when driving a high-profile vehicle. Hydroplaning. Hydroplaning happens when your tires encounter more water than they can scatter, so they lose contact with the road and skid along the water's surface. The water pressure in front of the tire forces a layer of water underneath the tire, reducing friction and causing the driver to lose control of the car. Although it can be a scary experience, the most important thing to remember is to stay calm. This is a picture of wheel hydroplaning. You see the water's edge here coming through, water underneath causing the hydroplane and the rotation of the tire. Again, another picture of hydroplaning. As you can see, full contact with the road, low speed, moderate speed, reduced contact with the road, and then high speed, you have no contact with the road and causes hydroplaning, and then the vehicle will slide out. Driving practices to avoid hydroplaning. Be careful during the first few minutes of rainfall. Those first 10 or so minutes after it starts to rain can be the most dangerous. This is because when rain first begins to fall, it stirs up oil and other substances that have dried on the road. The mixture of oil and water forms a film on the road that makes it extra slippery. During those first few minutes, drive slower and be high alert for those other drivers skidding. Heavy downpour over an extended period will eventually wash the roads clean, so conditions might be less dangerous at that point. This just shows a picture of reducing speeds during hydroplaning. Driving practices to avoid hydroplaning. Slow down in wet conditions. The faster you're going, the harder it is for your car to maintain traction in wet conditions. If your tires connect with a puddle of standing water, instead of maintaining contact with the road, they'll be more likely to skid. Avoid driving through puddles and standing water. These are spots where you're most likely to hydroplane since your tires will have difficulty maintaining traction. Turn off cruise control. If you're driving on the highway and using cruise control, turn it off when it starts to rain. You'll be more tuned with the conditions around you when it's off. You may need to reduce your speed quickly, and it's easier to do when your foot is already on the brake and you're paying attention to the road conditions and your speed. Drive slowly, try to avoid skids, and maintain mild pressure on your brake and gas. Avoid sudden acceleration. Don't make sudden turns as they could throw you off course. Be extra cautious on curvy roads, taking care to steer smoothly and drive smoothly. Regaining control when you hydroplane. Stay calm and wait for the skid to stop. When you first start to skid, it can be panic-inducing. Try not to panic or lose concentration. You should just wait for the skid to stop and stay alert so you can regain control of the vehicle. Bear in mind that most hydroplane-related skids last just a split second before you can regain traction. Waiting it out is the best way to handle the situation. Don't yank the steering wheel, since this action will cause you to further lose control of the vehicle. Ease your foot off the gas. Accelerating into the skid can cause you to lose control of the car and make matters worse. Don't try to accelerate out of a skid. Instead, slowly ease up and wait a moment until you regain control before you accelerate again. If you are braking when you enter a skid, ease up on the brake until it's over. Regaining control when you hydroplane. Steer in the direction you want the car to go. Maintain a firm grip and carefully point the car in the right direction. This technique is known as steering into the skid, and it's the best way to get your car back on track after skidding. You may need to correct the car's course a few times with light counter steering as you gain traction. Don't turn too sharply or you will overcorrect. Jerking the wheel back and forth could cause the car to spin out of control. Keep a steady hand on the wheel and steer with small movements to correct your course. Spinning out. When someone spins out, the rear comes around and can cause the vehicle to spin halfway around or in a complete circle under certain circumstances. Driving too fast or braking too hard on curves often causes someone to spin out. Fishtailing. Too much power to the rear-wheel drive vehicle will lead to fishtailing on a wet, snow, or ice-covered road. Fishtailing occurs when the rear of the vehicle swings from side to side with little or no control. Overcorrection by the driver leads to the sometimes violent swinging from side to side. Fishtailing continued. If your vehicle starts to fishtail, let off the gas and use small corrections to the wheel to get your vehicle pointed forward. Emergency kits. What you should have in a vehicle: fully charged cell phone or radio, an extra set of dry clothes including gloves, socks, shoes, boots, water bottle, snacks, stores may be closed, shovel to dig yourself out. Any questions? From this point, there will be a 10-question quiz. First question: inclement weather includes A, snow, B, sun, C, fog, D, A and C. Question 2: reducing your speed by 1/2 when roads get wet to avoid accidents is suggested. A is true, B is false. Question 3: inspect the following to make sure your vehicle is fit for winter weather driving. A, check the tire pressure and tread. B, fill the gas tank. C, check the windshield washer fluid. And D, all of the above. Question 4: ensure all snow and ice are removed from the windshield, windows, and side view mirrors before driving. A, true. B, false. Question 5: what is the correct response when trying to accelerate on ice and snow if you're sitting on an incline? A, travel in reverse. B, accelerate slowly, giving the tires a chance to grab traction. C, accelerate fast, giving the tires a chance to grab traction. And D, accelerate moderately, giving the tires a chance to grab traction. Question 6: when driving in fog, use your bright lights as it will limit the visibility and the visibility of those driving towards you. A, true. B, false. Question 7: don't drive through water if you are unsure of the depth or cannot see the road. A, true. B, false. Question 7: hydroplaning happens when A, your tires encounter less water than they can scatter, so they lose contact with the road and skid along the water's surface. B, your tires encounter no water. C, your tires encounter more water than they can scatter, so they lose contact with the road and skid along the water's surface. And D, your tires encounter a gravel road. Question 9: the first blank or so minutes after it starts to rain can be the most dangerous. A, 5, B, 8, C, 10, or D, 12. And the final question 10: if your vehicle starts to fishtail, let off the gas and use small corrections to the wheel to get your vehicle pointed forward. A, true, or B, false. This concludes the presentation.